It really is a great honor to share it with so many other brave and talented artists. And I think especially nowadays, for more reasons than I have time to list, it's really important that we put a spotlight on diverse, inclusive, and human artistry. So thank you for letting me be a part of it. I've prepared an original work just for this evening. It's called Show Girl. I hope you get something out of the performance. A quick disclaimer before I begin. I am not a poet. I am just a crazy person.
That's what a poet is.
I think about birds a lot. I mean, why shouldn't I? Birds are one of the most venerable literary symbols in history. The right avian, in the right context, can represent everything from freedom, hope, and beauty to grief, dread, and power. But I'm not going to talk about birds as a metaphor. I'm here to talk about their feathers. See, in most bird species, females have the drab and unassuming feathers. They dress themselves in the dull colors of mud and rarely play with eccentric shape language. Most women, among birds, are pretty boring. The men, on the other hand, are fabulous. They adorn themselves in rainbow colors. They deck themselves out in streamers. They trail huge ribbons on their tails. In the world of birds, men dress themselves up and put on shows. They're the pretty ones. Picture birds of paradise, or peafowl, or even cardinals and robins, and chances are you're thinking of the men in their voguish vest, not the women dressed for mass. And I can't help but wonder, what if people had feathers? What if we were born with soft white down and somewhere between the 7th and 10th grades, we molted, revealing our colors assigned at birth? I'll quickly remind you all, this isn't a metaphor. I'm just talking about birds, nothing else. Well, in a world where people had feathers, I think I'd keep my fabulous plumage. But wait, you say, that doesn't make any sense. I thought you wanted to be a woman. Why would you want to look like a guy? First of all, I don't want to look like a woman. I am a woman. And second, I don't want to look like a woman. I want to look like me. I want to be pretty. And I think neon feathers with eye spots and elaborate crested plumes are prettier than the dusty brown of real women. If people had feathers, then I'd still be a woman, but I'd keep my built-in color streamers. I can see you're already confused. It's the colors, isn't it? In the world where people have feathers, men have their place and women have theirs, and never the two shall meet. Is that right? Men have loud voices and put on big shows, and women sit quietly and watch. Men of paradise get nature documentaries about the elaborate nests they build and the enigmatic dances they put on. And women are somewhere in the background for a few seconds. Women are prizes to be won by the interesting men with the brightest feathers. That's how things should be, right? But if a woman with rainbow-colored feathers hops in the frame, well, we can't have that. It might steal the show. It's wrong, you say. It's unnatural. Everybody knows that men do all the important things and women are dull and lifeless. What you're doing is a total breakdown of the natural order. But you don't actually care about the natural order. I bet you don't even know your Tylorus paradisius from your Paradisomus rudolphi. You would if you actually studied biology. but I know you don't. What really scares you is that other feathered people might see me dancing around with my neon wings, shamelessly shaking my long tail, and they'll get ideas. You're afraid that people will start dyeing their feathers, or trimming their plumage, or building beautiful nests regardless of how colorful their feathers are. Or, most terribly, you're afraid I'll give you ideas. Because what if you see me, a rainbow woman of paradise, dancing around, and you dream of building a nest with me? Never mind that I'm not some bird of paradise performing a mating dance. I'm just a woman of colorful feathers. I put a lot of work into the art of my body, and I need no beholder's eye to know I'm beautiful. I'm just having fun here, buddy. You're the one that sees me walking down the street and thinks I'm putting on a show. But if you like what you see, well, that's not really a problem for either of us. Until you make it one. Degeneracy, you cry. Sin, perversion. There are predators with neon feathers, feather skirts on our televisions, on our sports fields, in our libraries. They're flaunting their mating dances at our children. Dear God, will someone think of the children? And thinking of the children, you ban me from the television, from the sports fields, and the libraries. You shut me out of every stage because what you call performance and I call my life is too dangerous to be allowed in the public eye. Think of the children. We're still talking about birds, by the way. I'm not making a metaphor. Why would you get that idea? Speaking of the children, what if, even after you've kicked me off the stage, they still turn out like me? What about those feathered girls whose downy feathers turn into colorful crests? What about the boys who don't? What will you do then? The answer is simple, really. Can't make an omelet without breaking a few eggs. The same is true for society, right? As long as the normal feathered children are safe from our social contagion. And I'll scream from within the cage you put me in, banned from dancing, but still a brightly feathered woman, singing an angry song on behalf of the children that you don't care about. Your response is easy to predict. I thought you wanted to be a woman. Stop getting angry. That's a mannish trait. Because everybody knows women never get angry. They never fought for reproductive rights. They never argued at an electoral debate. They never demanded equal pay. There was never a suffragette movement, no night witches dropping bombs on fascists in World War II, and no woman has ever slipped a little cyanide in her no-good husband's drink. Women have their place in the world of feathered people. It's me and my bright plumage that's getting everything mixed up. Fine then, I'll fix that for you. For your sake and not mine, I'll trim my long tail feathers and my far-reaching crests. I'll dye my neon eye spots until they're the color of dry mud. I'll make myself small and quiet and unworthy of a spotlight. I'll press myself into the tiny box you define as womanhood if you absolutely insist. This cage isn't shaped like me, but it's the only stage you've allowed for me, so I'll dance and chirp and bat my eyes. Am I woman enough for you yet? Of course not. The issue, you see, is the performance. You're not really a woman, you say. You're just pretending. If you really respected women, you wouldn't play them as helpless, boring things. You wouldn't take up so much space in their cage. Never mind that you choreographed this dance. You built this cage. You made me put on this show that you call being a girl. And whether I can keep up with the steps or not, you'll still blame me for it. I'm a stereotype of manhood or womanhood, or somehow both at once, and you're insulted by my every movement. No matter what color my feathers are, you can't fucking stand them. Fine then. Let's go to extremes, shall we? I'll pluck myself in this world where people have feathers. You couldn't stand my colors and you hated my obedient blandness, so this must be what you want. I can't dance on a stage, and I don't fit in your cage, but if I tear out my feathers, then I'll probably fit in your oven. Go on then, pluck every pinion, every phyloplume, every barbule and barbicel, until all that's left is my skin. Go on, get me ready for the rotisserie bowl, and take a good look at what's underneath. That's what you've always wanted this whole time, isn't it? You won't let me near a school, but you'll put me on the front page of Pornhub. You'll ban me from dancing in public, but you love it if I record it. See, I've been talking about feathers this whole time. You're the one that thinks it's a metaphor about what's in my pants. You want to see my cock? Then hand me a check so I can shove it in your face, because I don't care how much you're willing to pay. My body is not for your display. We were talking about birds. Let's go back to that. When writing a story, or a poem, or whatever this is, if you want to depict grief, use a raven. You want to sow dread, mention crows. Represent power with raptors. What am I to be in this feathered people's world? Think about it after your oven has had its way with me. Think about it as you scrape my ashes into a grave that's either unmarked or misnamed. Think about how you've done this for hundreds of years, and I'm still here. Cage me, pluck me, burn me to ash. Try again, sweetie. Go on, go ahead. Maybe this time the phoenix will stay dead. But what the fuck do I know about metaphors and birds? After all, I'm not a poet. I'm just a crazy person with feathers.